Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is Monday, July 14th, 2014, and this is our 65th episode of the Short Sports Show here on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. Today we have a jam-packed show. Obviously, the biggest news that happened this week was the King has returned home. LeBron James signs with the Cleveland Cavaliers and is now back home, and somehow the Cavaliers are now favorites to win it all, but is that really going to happen? Also, what would you rather have, championships or money? We'll talk about Carmelo Anthony's decision later in this episode. Also, college football media days start today with the SEC that is live right now that you can go watch on the Watch ESPN app. It's close to season. I mean, can you believe it, guys? It's already July. We're in mid-July. This is, mid-July. It's mid-July, guys. I know I'm keep repeating that, but football season's just around the corner. I'm very excited. That's why we will talk about college football first. And starting off, USC defensive lineman Kenny Bigelow is out for the season after tearing his right ACL during non-contact drills in a voluntary workout. The redshirt freshman was expected to compete for a starting job, and now obviously will not. But they do have some depth over there, so it's obviously a huge loss for USC because they really had high hopes for him. But they do have some guys that can step in and hopefully make an impact for USC. The Cactus Bowl will serve as the new name of the bowl game played in Tempe, Arizona. For the last 2 seasons, it was known as the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, and it was also the Insight Bowl 15 years before that. So no more Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. It is now the Cactus Bowl. My opinion, I really like the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, name for the bowl game. The Cactus Bowl, I mean, it makes sense, being in Arizona, obviously, but what? I don't know. I don't really like the Cactus Bowl. Not intriguing to me. But anyways, the game will take place January 2nd from the Pac-12, their number 6 team in the Pac-12, and also the 5th pick team in the Big 12 after the college football playoff teams are selected. It will be shown on ESPN like it has been for a very, very long time. Some news about college football. I guess the main news out of it is all about Florida State. And the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston, will attend the 2014 ACC football kickoff, which is their media day, title, as the conference released a list of 28 players, 2 from each of the 14 teams, that will speak to reporters during media days and will take place July 20th through the 21st next week. Winston will be asked this question a lot, and that's how many more years at Florida State? Jameis Winston indicated that he might remain at Florida State beyond the 2014 season, telling NFL.com that earning a degree is very important to him, while claiming that graduating is the main purpose in college. Now, just about a month or so ago, Jameis Winston's father, Antonar, made headlines last month when he told AL.com that his family expects the reigning Heisman Trophy winner to play at least 2 more seasons for the Seminoles, saying, that was a big news, and, saying he's going to stay, he's not going to go, he's going to play 1 more season of baseball, 2 more seasons of football, and get his degree, blah, 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 go play in the NFL. But Jameis Winston did tell NFL.com, saying, quote, "It's very important to me. I've always been raised as a student first and an athlete second. I think the main purpose in college I think that's the main purpose in college. Some athletes lose that perspective. It's about being a student athlete and not just getting that easy money and going to the league. Even if kids leave early, I would want them to come back and get that degree." Winston also told the NFL.com that he's not focused on his father's quote, saying, "I'm really not worried about that. I'm just focusing on the season right now because this year is going to be one to remember." But honestly, I think Winston and Oregon's quarterback Marcus Mariota are both saying that they're undecided and plan to stay at, for another year or two. So it's not a distraction throughout the season, though it's inevitable. There's, reporters, everybody, the media is still going to talk about Jameis Winston and about Marcus Mariota each week throughout the season, whether they're playing or not. We're going to be talking about, is this going to be the last game or the last season for Jameis Winston and Mariota in college football, and what's going to happen afterwards? Because if you think about it, these are most likely the number 1 and 2 picks in the NFL draft, depending on what teams are up there, who needs a quarterback at that time in the 2015 NFL draft. I think both of them, I think this is it for them. I think Winston is going to go. I think Mariota will go as well, because they see what's on the line and they see the chance of starting and being in the NFL. And I know what Jameis Winston just said, saying that some athletes lose that perspective. It's not about just getting easy money and going to the league. I think, for them, they're very much want to get that college degree and, have something to lean back on in case football, if they got hurt or they even became a bust. Getting that degree to do something after football. But you also got to think what's on the line for them. I do believe this is the last year for Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota in college football and them entering the 2015 NFL draft. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. If this will be the last time we see them with their respective universities, or will they come back and try to win another national championship for Florida State, or will Oregon try to finally achieve that goal of getting up there? Other Florida State news is wide receiver Jesus Wilson has been suspended from the football team after facing a felony charge, and get this, in a theft of a motor scooter. I'm going to let that sink in for a little bit. He stole a motor scooter. Out of all things you were going to steal, some type of motor vehicle or anything, a motor scooter? Really? That's what you want to steal? Anyways, police say Wilson was stopped as he rode a motor scooter days after it was reported stolen on campus, and he does it on campus as well, June 11th. And then Wilson said a friend loaned him the vehicle, and after investigation ensued, and Wilson was later arrested and charged with third-degree grand motor theft. He turned himself in last Wednesday, and was freed on a $2,500 bond. Florida State spokesman Rob Wilson said the athletic department's code of conduct forbids a player from representing the team when charged with a felony. Jesus Wilson is not eligible to play or travel, but can practice and is not automatically kicked off the team. Head coach Jimbo Fisher only said that he was suspended for the team, did not answer any other questions or give any type of response whether he was kicked off the team or anything like that. It was just a suspension. But anyways, Jesus Wilson played in 12 games last year and is expected to compete for a starting job after, Kevin Benjamin is gone, and I believe another receiver is also gone. He had 3 receptions for 23 yards in last season and averaged 11.1 yards on 8 punt returns. So you think about that and you're like, well, it's not that good. Yeah, he is. In the spring game for Florida State, he caught 4 catches for 101 yards, including a 66-yard reception and a touchdown. So, obviously, he showed a lot of potential, a lot of skill on the football field, but now his playing time is in question after stealing a motor scooter. That's just that's embarrassing. I mean, you cannot act tough stealing a motor scooter, out of all things. And good thing they didn't say what color it is, because most of them were pink, yellow, bright orange, an ugly looking green color. Just terrible decision. I mean, it's bad to steal something, I get that, but I'm just saying, a motor scooter? I mean, honestly, really. Alright, moving on, the College Football Hall of Fame will be in Atlanta. Will open August 23rd. It's a 94,000 square foot facility. The Hall of Fame was previously located in South Bend, Indiana, but was plagued by poor attendance. And 5 years ago, the National Football Foundation announced the deal to move it to Atlanta on a site near the Georgia Dome and overlooking Olympic Park. Also, the foundation announced a lead sponsor for the facility, which will be known officially as the College Football Hall of Fame and Chick-fil-A Fan Experience. So we're going to see a lot of hype going into it when we see an opening kickoff for a lot of games. They're going to show commercials on this, and Chick-fil-A, obviously being the main sponsor, is going to, have the little teasers of, hey, come check this out when it opens, blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to look nice. I've seen pictures of it when they announced the decision. I know they said 5 years ago. I barely heard about it last year that they were moving it, but I saw the pictures on their website. You can go check it out. It looks amazing. It looks awesome, and it's something, I don't know why poor attendance. Maybe it's just the high prices over there, but if it's a good price, I mean, you're going to see a lot of things there, and it looks state of the art. It's amazing. It actually opens a day before my birthday, and maybe I'll just go out and fly over to Atlanta, Georgia, and check it out, because it'd be awesome to see that. Let's see what else. Okay, this story right here is really, really cool. Mississippi State's Scott Strickland and Kansas State's John Curry, both athletic directors, have done something that has never been done in college football history, and this will probably be in the Hall of Fame now. This past Friday, the two athletic directors agreed to a home-and-home football series on social media network called the Twitter. The teams are set to play in Manhattan, Kansas in 2018 and Starkville, Mississippi in 2019. Scott Strickland, Mississippi State's athletic director, said this, quote, "It takes a pretty savvy partner. John is a sharp guy. It was a kind of fun way to do it. There's a young generation of guys out there that communicate through these mediums." And said he didn't want to miss this opportunity. He didn't want to waste this opportunity when they went at it. It's got over almost, what did I think I saw, about 200 retweets, somewhere around there, and a few hundred favorites from both of these guys. Finally announcing there's no paperwork that has happened, but it is legit. It is going to happen. We will see Mississippi State and Kansas State take on each other in 2018, 2019, excuse me. So I think that's pretty cool to do that, and hopefully we're able to see other athletic directors and maybe even coaches set that up, because just normal people are very limited to what they hear and what they see. So when you're able to see something go down just like that was kind of a joking little thing, but turned into it's a very serious thing, and you're able to see, hey, let's say you're a Kansas State fan or a Mississippi State fan, you're able to see, oh, that I don't know. I think that's really cool. Maybe making more out of it than it really is, but I would love to see TCU say, all right, let's take on. Aren't we supposed to play Ohio State the same year in the 2018, 2019? Say Gary Patterson and Urban Meyer tweet each other. They both have Twitters, and say, hey, let's do this. Instead of making a home-and-home series, let's just go and play in Cowboy Stadium, which probably will happen. And let's do this Cowboy Classic, Ohio State, TCU. Let's get it on. All on Twitter. You're not reading it off of ESPN or College Football Network, Big Ten Network, Big 12 Network. You're seeing it on Twitter just right there and then. I don't know. I think that's cool. Moving on. We spent too much time on that. Auburn starting quarterback Nick Marshall will not attend SEC Media Days this Monday today, following his citation for possession of a small amount of marijuana in Georgia on Friday. And Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn said, quote, "I am aware of the situation that happened earlier today with Nick. I am very disappointed and will address it with him accordingly." Obviously, that's already been addressed, and no suspension. Probably just some small little things in practice that he has to do. But he won't be attending the media day, which is really huge, because this is the starting quarterback. Majority of the players that go to media days are your starting quarterback. As we saw Johnny Manziel last year. We have Jameis Winston going to ACC. Their ACC media day next week. Nick Marshall, you're the starting quarterback, face of Auburn right now. and you won't attend SEC Media Days because you smoked marijuana. So, looks really bad on Auburn, but I'm sure they have plenty of players to go out there for him. Alabama defensive lineman Jaron Reed was arrested and charged with DUI on Sunday. It is the second time this month a Crimson Tide football player was arrested and taken into custody by Tuscaloosa police. Reed, who was being held on a $1,000 bail, had a blood alcohol content of 0.13. The legal limit is 0.08. So, yeah. But anyways, for Alabama, all you fans out there, it's okay. No, that's not okay what just happened, but looking for, in case he gets kicked off the team or he, misses a few games, depth-wise at your defensive line, you're okay. He's a defensive tackle, I do believe. You have senior Brandon Ivory, who started 12 of 13 games last season. He'll be there, and also junior Darren Lake, who appeared in every game last season. So you're okay depth-wise. Just looks bad on you now. But that's it for college football. Moving into the NFL, we all remember Seattle Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman's national television post-game rant directed at San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Michael Crabtree moments after the NFC Championship game last season that became national news. And if you haven't remembered that, well, Richard Sherman, he remembers it very, very well, saying, quote, "It's not going to be something that goes away." He said on the show, according to USA Today, it was on American Muscle. It's a new show. And if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. And the guy that's the host of the show has, I don't know, just sounds weird, but I don't know what the show's really about. I don't know if it's just on football or they go through different sports or weights. It's called American Muscle. Obviously, it has to do something about gym. If it's about football, I'm going to watch it. If it's just that one episode, then it sucks. I don't want to watch it. But anyways, moving on, Richard Sherman went on to say, quote, "I hope to play Crabtree every year for the rest of my career and choke him out. There's not much else I can say about that subject. Nobody will understand it but him and me. That's all that needs to be understood." And also saying, it's much more than I don't like the dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's sorry. So it's really what it comes down to. It's just about him. It's just about Crabtree. And Sherman has been able to say a lot of things, and Michael Crabtree really never responds to any of it, which could be the best thing for Crabtree to do. But finally, Michael Crabtree did respond back on ESPN's NFL Live saying, quote, "I've been doing this for a while, I've been playing, I've been at the top of the totem pole since high school, so it's nothing new to me. Like when I win, it's no hurrah, I ain't yelling, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to it. But like I said, I'm getting tired of talking about these guys. I concentrate on football. I love football. This is my life, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really have too much to prove when it comes to talking on this TV. But like I said, I'm about it. So it's going to be, obviously it's always been, for the past about 3 years really, the Seahawks and 49ers have been going at it very intensely. It's become a huge rivalry in the NFL. Just like, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seattle and San Francisco have picked it up and took a lot of rivalries. They're probably the number one rivalry right now in football. Not historically, but I'm just saying as of right now. And so it's always been an intense game to watch. But now it's like it took it up just another notch that, didn't think it was possible, but now it is. And now it has done that. With both of these guys going at it, both of them been in the back-to-backs, or, have been in Super Bowls now with, Seahawks winning it. So 49ers have always been right there close to it and even reaching it, but not winning. So with all of that, it's going to be very exciting to see when they come play each other. Sadly, it's like late in the season, I believe, is when the first game is, in November, I believe. So it's going to be a while, but best believe it's going to be one of the best games of the season. You can already just believe in it right now. Moving on, the NFL has suspended Minnesota Vikings defensive lineman Spencer Neely for the first 4 games of this season for violating rules against performance-enhancing drugs. Neely will not be paid during his suspension, but is eligible to participate in all practices, off-season programs, and preseason games. Neely was a member of the Vikings practice squad for 6 weeks last season, and if he makes the team, he will be eligible for the Vikings active roster on September 29th. But most likely, because of the suspension, why waste a roster spot when you can have a guy that plays right away and doesn't have any trouble? You know? Also, the Indianapolis Colts released wide receiver Levon Brazil, which is not surprising after the NFL suspended Brazil for at least 1 year on July 3rd for violating the league's substance abuse policy for the second time. He even said money or marijuana. Most people would pick money, and that's where he ended the quote saying, "I pick marijuana," but that's just stupid. Anyways, he was banned for the first 4 games of the 2013 season for violating the exact same policy. In 25 career games with the team, he recorded 23 catches and 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he was expected to, take one of the starting roles, and obviously now doesn't have a team, and most likely this could be the end of his NFL career, because you sign him, any team that signs him now has to wait an entire year until he can actually play. The suspension doesn't go, if he doesn't play with any team this year, it's not like, oh, he's just suspended this year and then he can come back next year. Whenever he signs with the team, boom, that's when the 1 year starts. So it's going to be really crazy to see how that goes. What else do we have on store? That is, Packers president Mark Murphy thinks the relationship between the organization and former quarterback Brett Favre remains strong, but there are no plans to retire Brett Favre's number 4 jersey this season. Saying, quote, "I don't anticipate having him retire a number this season. In a game this year, we have very good relations and very good communication, but I don't anticipate that this will happen this year." The two sides have discussed a possible return last season, but ESPN Wisconsin.com reported recently that Brett Favre pulled out in part because he was afraid of the reaction he might receive from Lambeau Field's crowd. And then Murphy, when about that, said, quote, that this is an issue. He doesn't want it, and neither do we. He wouldn't want to come back and get booed. We can't control 80,000 people. I really think as time goes on, every year that passes, it is less likely that he would get booed. But this is an issue. And then Brett Favre told Sirius XM NFL Radio in June that he wouldn't trade his Packers experience for anything, saying, quote, "It's going to happen. I'll be back up there. Again in my career in Green Bay, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was awesome. The people were awesome. And I just think everything's going to be fine. In my opinion, it is now. It's just a matter of getting back up there." So, for any fans, and I'm talking to Green Bay fans here, that boo Brett Favre, you are not a fan. Don't call yourself a fan. Especially don't call yourself a Green Bay Packers fan if you boo Brett Favre. And don't call yourself an NFL fan or a football fan if you boo Brett Favre. Now, I understand at that time, it's a little bit different. It's just like when LeBron James left Cleveland. You're going to boo him. You're going to burn his jersey. You're going to blah, 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 blah. You're going to hate him, right? But after several years have now passed since he left Minnesota, quote, retiring and unretiring to play with the Vikings and the Jets, you got to relax and let that go, because he brought you so many wins, so many exciting moments, and a Super Bowl. You cannot boo this guy. He is a future Hall of Famer. Yes, he was very annoying when it came to retiring and unretiring. It was the most annoying thing in football ever, next to the Miami Dolphins offensive lineman situation. Those two by far the most annoying thing. And this Jimmy Graham thing is pretty annoying as well. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, are there going to be some stupid people that boo Brett Favre? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. But, that shows you, okay, they should never watch football ever again in their lives. And also that Brett Favre, what he's done in Green Bay, cannot replace it. It's, he's, him and Bart Starr, those are your guys, your top quarterbacks in Green Bay Packer history, with Aaron Rodgers being third. And, can't boom. But hopefully we'll see it this year. I hope the Packers are smart and they don't schedule against the Vikings, even though it's their biggest rival. Don't do that. Don't schedule against the Vikings. Do it against, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Just someone sucks, and just so you can have some brighter moment other than your team just dominating, But anyways, let's move on now. Wide receiver Calvin Johnson, who discussed with NFL Network his number 2 ranking on the top 100 players list, said that the Lions, he feels like the Lions have what it takes to win a Super Bowl, saying, quote, "We need to win a Super Bowl. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing. That should be the number one thing for every team going into the beginning of the year. We definitely in a place where we feel we could do that." The thing is, the Detroit Lions haven't won their division since 1993 and have played in just 2 playoff games since 2000. As a team, finished 7-9 last season. But Calvin Johnson credited new head coach Jim Caldwell for the team's optimism heading into the season, saying, quote, "It's an overall change in vibe here, and we love it. We're going to go out and bust our butts every day because Jim is such a great guy, a great leader for our team, and he's helped bring us together. And we're doing a lot of stuff on our own, off the field, to keep the camaraderie going." So, I like the new attitude I feel like there is in Detroit for the Lions. I just think it's far-fetched for saying you're going to win a Super Bowl. Your defense has many questions. A lot of players that have off-the-field problems, there's still a lot of questions there. Yes, your offense is going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL this upcoming season. Depending on how the offensive line plays, and if Reggie Bush can stay healthy, blah, blah, blah. Bringing in Golden Tate's a huge, huge thing for the Lions. It's all that. The defense is what scares me. Their secondary, I feel like it's still very, very bad. I know they brought in at safety, what's his name? The James, I don't even know. Anyways, they brought in that safety that you guys know. And I can't remember. But anyways, I don't think that's going to be enough for the Lions to win a lot of games, and especially beating really good teams in, playoff teams, potential playoff teams. Your division is already very tough. You got Vikings, who you could see a star in Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers are always going to be tough. I think their defense is getting a little bit better. I think it's going to be a lot better than last season. So, you're going to have to play the Packers, a really, really good team. And then you got the Chicago Bears, who also will have one of the best offenses. And that's not a good thing if you're a Lions fan, because your defense is pretty bad. So, and the Chicago Bears defense, I think Jonathan Bostic, the linebacker, he's legit. He is legit. So it's going to be very, very tough for the Lions to even just win their division, let alone win playoff games and reach a Super Bowl. So, Calvin Johnson, you're the face of the team. I know you got Matthew Stafford, but you are the team leader here. I like your attitude. Keep going the way you're going. I'm just sorry you will not win a Super Bowl with the Lions. But love the attitude, though. Oakland Raiders running back Maurice Jones-Drew said recently he believes the city deserves a full-time NFL team in London. Saying, quote, "You know what? I think they deserve one. It's just the toll it takes on the body because it's so hard to fly across the pond. I think the fans deserve it, and London deserves it because it is a great city." Jones-Drew told BritviewNFL.com, a website that launched this week and covers the league from a British perspective. MJD, however, acknowledged it would be difficult for an NFL team to play its home games overseas. saying, quote, "My only worry is the toll it would take for a team to go back and forth, and how would you get it done? There are things that would have to work on. They might have to bring the Concorde back and cut the time in half, but you never know," he told the website. So this is another very annoying thing to talk about the NFL possibly having an expansion team overseas. It's not going to happen. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's not going to make you any more money. And it's just stupid for any player that says, "I want to go play in London," and to make the travel back and forth, and have all this. I mean, you would have to have a bye week after every road game, and obviously you cannot do that. So it makes no sense. It would just die within a year, and it would be the biggest fail for the NFL. And we all know the NFL doesn't want to look like a failure, even because of all the concussion things and the problems they've already had. They want to try to, look even better now, and having to say that you failed having an expansion team all the way overseas, because that's going to make news everywhere. That's not just sports news. That is news across literally the world now. So it's stupid for this to even be part of a discussion. It's not going to happen. Let it go. If they want to have 1 game or 3 games overseas, hey, that's cool for those specific teams that want to sign up and do that. Hey, go for it. But I would not want my team or any NFL team right now to say, "Hey, I want to move." I'm not even Jacksonville. Jacksonville wants to move to another city. Leave to another city. Don't go to London, because that's just dumb. But anyways, the Raiders will play a game in London in Week 4 against the Miami Dolphins, with Oakland as a designated home team. It will be one of 3 NFL regular season games played in London in 2014. Other news: Ravens cornerback Jimmy Smith was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor disorderly conduct last Saturday night after an alleged incident at a suburban Baltimore bar. Smith is the 5th Ravens player to be arrested this offseason. I mean, so many arrests this year. I feel like it's more than it has been, the past few years. Police say Smith was helping an intoxicated woman in the bathroom of a Taunton, Maryland bar when she became nauseated. After medics arrived, officers repeatedly asked Smith to step aside, and he allegedly refused to comply, saying several times that he was helping the woman. Smith became argumentative when they asked him to step into the hallway, according to police. And police say that Smith was cooperative with the officers after being arrested. First round pick by the Ravens in 2011, Smith was released from custody at about 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time after being issued a citation. A court date is yet to be scheduled. The woman was transported to a local hospital, and so on and so forth. The Ravens exercised the 5th-year option on Smith this offseason, which keeps him under contract with the Ravens in 2015 for over $6.5 million. The team is looking to sign Smith to an extension, but this isn't the first. This is the first arrest for Smith in his NFL career, although he had off-the-field issues at the University of Colorado, which caused him to slide to the number 27th overall pick in the draft 3 years ago. So, he did have trouble when he was a little younger, but, never had any problems since then. And with this, it's hard to say because not being there, obviously, but you can kind of see where he was just probably trying to be too protective for someone, or at that time he shouldn't be, because police is there, medics are there, you can step back, you've done your job. But to be argumentative with the police, that's where you got to be like, all right, dude, just chill out a little bit. Step back. You're good. You can leave, or, you can stay if she's with you, whatever that needs to happen. But just step aside when police and the medics are there. You've done your job. Chill out. It's not worth it to have, bad things happen to your name and also bring bad things to the Ravens after they've had several issues this offseason. But I think it's just, more of a small thing. He was just really just being, just arguing with the cops. That's about it. He didn't hit a woman, like Ray Rice, and also, he didn't do anything really bad. So, still bad for the Ravens. Anyways, earlier this year, the Rams offered $100,000 to the fan who accomplished virtually an impossible task of exactly predicting the team's 2014 regular season schedule. And now the Colts have given the fans kind of the same thing, just very unrealistic chance of winning 5 times as much money. From now through August 7th at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, fans can guess the kickoff temperature for all 4 preseason and 16 regular season games, along with the whether the roof will be open for the team's home games. Anyone who nails all 30 variables will be eligible to win $500,000. Once again, from now until August 7th, if you guess the kickoff temperature for all 4 preseason games and all 16 regular season games, and if the roof will be open during the team's home games, you will win $500,000. If more than one person gets everything right, they will share the money. And if no one gets the kickoff temperatures and the open or closed decision right for all the games, then obviously no one wins the $500,000. Why? One, this is a fun way to get your fans interactive. Get them going, get something to talk about, all the other good stuff. Now you're making something that's very, very unrealistic. Yeah, you can say, okay, it's going to be 70 degrees. You can look at the past time. I mean, if you're serious about doing this, why not? You got nothing to lose. And you got $500,000 possibly to win. You go ahead and look at the past several years of, the Colts. What they've done in their new stadium, when they've had it open. Have they had it open for special events? Have they had it closed for special events? Certain games during the nights, is it open more? Is it closed during the nights more? Morning games, afternoon games, blah blah blah. Especially since all of that's released now. But man, you cannot predict whether it's going to rain that day or not, and all this other stuff. I say go for it. Go for it. Whether you're a Colts fan or not, go for it. I'll do it too. I'm not going to get my hopes up that I'm going to win it, but it is something that's a little fun. But it's like, if someone does all that, that's 30 variables, right? Why only 500,000? Why only 500,000? Make it $1 million, because the odds of that happening are very, very, very low, very low. So why not get more people to do it? Saying, okay, you got $1 million at stake. Can you do it? I don't know. I think it's fun. I think every team should have something like this. But maybe make it a little bit more realistic, because there's also a new article that came out, or new news, whatever, came out that each NFL team, all 32 teams, have made $6 billion, not $6 million, $6 billion in revenue that was split through all 32 teams. Bam. Just like that. So you can give away $500,000, maybe even $1 million. It's not bad. Not bad. But some news that has happened is the DEA, yes, the actual DEA, has launched an investigation into potential painkiller abuse in the NFL. The New York Daily News reported Saturday, citing 3 sources familiar with the probe. Federal authorities want to find out how NFL doctors and trainers access prescription painkillers and who distributes them to players. The investigation began shortly after a group of retired players filed a lawsuit accusing the NFL of distributing prescription narcotics without telling players of the drug's effects. The lawsuit, filed in May, represents about 1,300 players, including Jim McMahon, Richard Dent, and ESPN analyst Marcellus Wiley. The NFL declined to comment on the report of the Drug Enforcement Administration's investigation, and a DEA spokeswoman said she was not aware of an investigation into the prescription drug abuse in NFL locker rooms, but said, generally speaking, the DEA is involved in efforts to reduce painkiller abuse. So, pretty big news right there. But another bad thing to the NFL. We already had this concussion thing with soccer moms. I know they're not, in soccer, but I'm just saying, worried about little kids and all this other stuff, thinking, oh, it's not violent when they're little. Yeah, it's violent. Anyways, with concussions now, and now you got a painkiller problem. Oh, it just seems like every year there's something bad happening to the NFL. This is football news. I'm going to tie it in, but it starts off with basketball. After LeBron James announced Friday he was returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Browns Pro Bowl cornerback Joe Hayden basically set up a little challenge. Which team will bring a championship to Cleveland first? Hayden was talking to NFL Network's NFL Total Access, saying LeBron makes things happen pretty quickly, so we're going to have to get to it. I say it's going to be a tight fight. I know me and Johnny Manziel will be pushing to make that happen before. That's why LeBron is coming here, to bring a championship to the city, and I'm trying to do the same thing. It's a great day in Cleveland. It's been almost overwhelming. I actually, having my football camp, when people that were at my camp, people's parents were like, oh my goodness, LeBron's here, LeBron's coming back home. I'm super excited. I'm really, really big LeBron supporter. And if he wants to come play for the Browns, I'd welcome him with open arms. He might be the only person I give my number 23 to. So, few things to decipher real quick. One, Cleveland, he said, quote, it's a great day in Cleveland. Not many times you heard that. Not many times we've heard that it's a great day in Cleveland. So that's a huge thing, right? Second, he's throwing a little challenge to LeBron James, saying who's going to win a championship first? Will it be LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers, or will it be the Cleveland Browns? That's both of those are very, very unlikely to happen. But here's the main thing that people really need to pay attention to right here. He said, quote, I know me and Johnny Manziel will be pushing to make that happen before LeBron. He didn't say, I know me and Brian Hoyer. He said, me and Johnny Manziel. He's already saying Johnny Manziel's a starter. He has all his faith, and he wants Johnny Football to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. That's huge right there. That is huge. I mean, he didn't say, me and Brian Hoyer are going to make sure we're pushing that to for us, Cleveland Browns, to win it before LeBron and the Cavaliers do it. He's saying me and Johnny Football, me and Johnny, a.k.a. Money Team Manziel, are going to make that happen. That is huge. That is huge. Now, obviously, Joe Hayden has no control who becomes the starting quarterback, even though he is the face of the franchise. He has no control of Johnny Manziel being a starter. He has no say on the depth chart. But he's showing all his faith and support in Johnny Manziel. We've had all these questions. Who's going to be starting quarterback? But obviously, we know where Joe Hayden stands, and that's with Johnny Manziel. And that's freaking awesome. That is awesome. Other Browns news. Literally, Browns news as Cleveland Browns. Anyways, Browns Vice President of Marketing Kevin Griffin said that the Browns will use a live bulldog as the team's mascot this season. Before I go on, I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. Live mascot. They're not gonna have. I think they'll still have that other guy, the actual team mascot, as in the guy in the mascot suit, in the bulldog suit. I think they'll still keep that guy. But they're going to use a real live bulldog. I think that's cool. I think it's real cool. And his name... Have you heard his name yet? I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to let the suspense get in. Ready? You ready for this? His name is Swagger. That's cool. That is cool. You're going to name... That brings hype to Cleveland. They already have a lot of hype now with LeBron being there, Johnny Football, the optimism in that city. Now you're having a new dog, and his name's Swagger. Swagger. I'm going to get a dog pretty soon, and guess what? I'm going to name my dog Swagger. Yep. I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Even though it has nothing to do with the Cavaliers, but I'm just saying. I'm going to name him Swagger. I think that's so cool. I think that's really cool. But anyways, let's move on. Now we will actually talk about basketball. A lot of people want to hear, about basketball. We've talked about football now. Obviously, the biggest news is LeBron James signs with the Cleveland Cavaliers, coming back home. King James is back home to a 2-year, $42 million deal that he can opt out after this upcoming season. But that's like the little writing on, on a piece of paper you don't really look at. He can still opt out after this year. Anyways, but the main thing, King James is coming home. He's coming home, playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. One thing I want to make clear is that they've released the, those Vegas bets, whatever, and the favorites, who's to win the NBA championship. They now have the Cleveland Cavaliers as 6-5 favorites, something like that. Damn, the number just slipped by me. Anyway, they have them as, they're going to win the championship, basically. That they're the number one favorite team just because LeBron signed there. Let me refresh some people's memories real quick. Last time LeBron was there, how many times were they favorites and how many times did they actually get close to winning? Or win it? Yeah, now I'm not hating on Cavaliers. Hey, you true Cavaliers fans, hey, don't hate me. I'm not trying to go after you or anything. Kyrie Irving and Dion Waiters can become the best at their positions within 2 to 3 years. And probably now 1 to 2 years just because LeBron's there and he makes everybody around him better. But they're very inconsistent. Now, Andrew Wiggins, which we will talk about him very shortly. Andrew Wiggins has the potential to become a huge star. And with being with LeBron, Dion Waiters, Kyrie Irving, there's so much potential. So I can see why they're heavily favored. So much potential. But you got to look at potential and you got to look at consistency throughout a season. Andrew Wiggins, how is he going to perform, translate his game to the NBA against top players? How is Kyrie Irving going to, play throughout the season? Is Dion Waiters going to step up his game? Is LeBron still going to be LeBron? A lot of things like that. So, yes, do I think they're a top 5 to top 10 team in the NBA right now? Absolutely. For sure a top 10 team in the NBA. Absolutely. If they're a top 5, they're the number 5 team in the NBA. But are they championship favorites? Absolutely not. They are not championship favorites. It's ridiculous to believe that they are. You got to have chemistry. That is how the Spurs won. I mean, you got to think about it. Most fans and analysts are going to say, who do you want? Do you want LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, or do you want Ginobili, Duncan, and Parker? Because of the big names, most people are going to pick, I need LeBron on my team. It's LeBron James. But you got to look at chemistry, and that's how the Spurs won. They have a lot of talent, actually, but I'm just saying, it's all about chemistry. So how are these guys going to communicate with each other, how they're going to team build around each other is huge. But to be championship favorites, I believe, is very unrealistic and disrespectful to other teams. But anyways, moving on. I told you guys we were going to talk about what would you rather have, championships in any sport that's your favorite, championships, or would you have money? Well, apparently Carmelo Anthony, it's about having money. Saying this is, obviously he reached a deal to remain with the New York Knicks, saying he's a Knick at heart. But honestly, I feel like it's more money at heart. Now, I know he's at Syracuse, he's, from the New York area. That's the New York team. You want to be with the Knicks. I got you. The history, awesome. But when you're a free agent and you can still get paid a lot of money and you are dying to win a championship, do you want to stay with your hometown team that has no chance of winning the championship? Or do you want to go to a team that you're still going to get paid, but you could be that championship piece? The contract for the Knicks will be more than $122 million, but less than the 5-year, $129 million contract max figure. So my question is, why sign with a team that will barely make the playoffs or might not even make it, and just get all this money? or sign with a team that has a greater chance at winning a championship and still make $96 million. Like, for example, the Houston Rockets, the Los Angeles Lakers. And then there are teams that are on the championship hunt but can't offer you a ton of money, like Kansas City, OKC, the Dallas Mavericks, the Chicago Bulls. You're going to have Derrick Rose back. Now you have Paul Gasol over there. And now even the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, Carmelo Anthony said he wanted to wait to see where King James was going to go, and Anthony could possibly sign with the same team. Yet he still stayed in New York, took all the money, and you still have basically the same team that did not make the playoffs. And if you're really about your team and you're really about staying home, why take so much money away from their salary cap? Then get a good amount of money. It's like a LeBron deal, $42 million or so. You know, it's still a ton of money. And have the rest of the money split up so you can go out and get free agents, make some trades, things like that. So you cannot tell me Carmelo Anthony is saying, "Oh, I just want to stay home." You know, he's still a Nick at heart and all this other. No, he's about money. He's all about money. I've lost a lot of respect for Carmelo. Now it's not like a rant on him because he didn't sign with my Lakers, you know. Hey, you know, oh well. That sucks. I think the Lakers, they got Jeremy Lin. Oh, that's stupid. But anyways, I just think if you're about winning championships, if you're about basketball, if you really want to stay with the Knicks, why not take a $42 million deal, a 2-year deal as well, like LeBron, and have the rest of the money given for other free agents or to make other trades happen, to get maybe Kevin Love, you know? Why not do that? Why take so much money? Yeah, you could say it's going to be more than 122, but it's still going to be less than 129. I made a pay cut for the team. You serious? Are you serious, really? I'm sorry. I don't mean to rant, but hey, that's how it goes, I guess. The Los Angeles Lakers completed their I can't say the word. They got Jeremy Lin from the Houston Rockets on Sunday. The Lakers also received a future first-round pick and a 2015 second-round pick in the deal that will send Sergei Lischuk to Houston. He played in Spain or whatever. This is what Lakers general manager Mitch Kupchak said, quote, "This trade allows us to acquire a solid player who will make us a better team, as well as draft picks to improve our team in the future, while at the same time allowing us to maintain financial flexibility. In addition to what he'll bring us to the court, we think Jeremy will be warmly embraced by our fans and our community." Jeremy Lin will make about $15 million this season. In the last year of his deal, that counts only $8 million against the salary cap. Jeremy Lin averaged 12.5 points, 4 assists last season, and lost the starting job. If Jeremy Lin was just on the bench, awesome. We increased our bench, awesome. This is not. This is not supposed to be our breakout deal, and sadly, it is. This is our breakout deal. You know. We missed out on LeBron. We missed out on, and LeBron gave a small chance too, but I'm just saying we missed out on him. We missed out on Carmelo. But we got Jeremy Lin, who was benched last season. Awesome. We're going to suck again. Us Lakers, we're going to... I feel so bad for Kobe. I'm sorry. Anyways, moving on. Kevin Garnett likes the direction of the Brooklyn Nets and says, quote, he's excited about joining them for the upcoming season, despite the loss of Paul Pierce via free agency. Garnett, who turns 38 in May, is due $12 million for the 2014-15 season, and this will be his 20th NBA season. Though he hasn't officially said that he's coming back, most likely he will, is what they're expecting. But Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett have been teammates since 2007 season and won the NBA championship with the Boston Celtics. But now Paul Pierce is in Washington, which I think is a cool deal, but I don't know how much Paul Pierce is actually going to attribute to the team. But Kevin Garnett, I would leave, dude. I would leave Brooklyn in a heartbeat and go to San Antonio. Go somewhere where you can finish off your career, win more championships. I know this hasn't been rumored or anything, but imagine Kevin Garnett with Tim Duncan. Twin Towers. Twin Towers. They would both be able to split time, save, their energy for playoffs. Tiago Splitter out there. That would be huge. That'd be huge. Or maybe Kevin Garnett going to Houston. Be with Dwight Howard. Still get a lot of playing time, get money. Hopefully win a championship at Houston. But there's no talk of him leaving. I mean, he's going to make $12 million this year. I don't think he'd make that anywhere else, so that's probably why he's staying. And he's so used to the New York and Boston area. Why leave? Moving on, Caron Butler has agreed to a deal with the Detroit Pistons. The deal is for 2 years and a range of $10 million. Butler played last season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pistons also agreed to a 2-year, $6 million deal with point guard DJ Augustine. And here we go. Andrew Wiggins. Really want to talk about him. Gosh, we have so much more news to talk about. This show is long so far, so we'll speed through this. Star rookie Andrew Wiggins will get the opportunity to begin his NBA career alongside LeBron James, according to Cleveland Cavaliers coach David Blatt. David Blatt refuted speculation that the Cavaliers could part with Wiggins in a potential deal to land Kevin Love, telling the reporters that he's unaware of any plans to trade the number 1 overall pick, saying, quote, "There's no reason or cause for worry on his part because Andrew's not going anywhere. As far as I know and as far as the club has expressed," Blatt told reporters Saturday following the Cavaliers' summer league practice in Las Vegas. And Kevin Love is intrigued by the idea of joining James in Cleveland and would commit to a long-term deal with the Cavaliers, source told ESPN on Friday. But Love's current team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, want Wiggins in any deal for Love, a source has told ESPN. Cleveland opened up trade talks with Minnesota by offering Dion Waiters and Anthony Bennett and a first-round draft pick, a deal that was declined by the Timberwolves. The Cavaliers will likely need to find a third team in order to acquire Love in a trade that doesn't include Andrew Wiggins. And then sources told ESPN that Cavaliers have informed Wiggins he will not be traded, and head coach David Blatt affirmed the franchise commitment to the former Kansas star, saying he is looking forward to watching him mesh with LeBron James. Finally, David Blatt, the head coach again of Cavaliers, said, quote, I would like to think for a guy like Andrew to have the opportunity to play with arguably one of the best players of all time, to learn from him and be tutored by him, and to play alongside him, which he will. I got to think that a tremendous boost to his confidence and his comfort level will probably his motivation. Andrew Wiggins scored 18 points in his professional debut on Friday, helping the Cavaliers to a 70-68 Summer League win over the Milwaukee Bucks. And 1 day later, Andrew Wiggins reiterated his excitement to play with LeBron James, saying, quote, the best player comes to our team. It's going to be a great learning experience for me to play alongside the best in the game, which is kind of disrespectful to Kobe, but I'm not going to say anything. So with all of that information that just rushed straight at you, it'd be the stupidest move for the Cleveland Cavaliers to trade Andrew Wiggins. Now, I know Kevin Love is a big star and could do things because he's experienced. He's already in the NBA. He's had, he's a star. Okay, hold on. Andrew Wiggins is a star. Kevin Love is a star. Andrew Wiggins was a star in college, and Kevin Love is a star in the NBA. So there's a difference right there. One's already adjusted and can score and can play in the NBA. One is adjusting and is trying to, do all the other good stuff. But the potential is so much higher in Wiggins to become a star player than Kevin Love's potential to become an all-star player, in my mind. And I'm not talking about making the all-star game. I'm talking about playing like an all-star. So I would keep Wiggins. He's young, obviously. He's a rookie. He's only 19 years old. And imagine what you have there, like I was talking about earlier. So I think it'd be a really dumb move. I know some fans, Cleveland fans, want Kevin Love, and they would trade Wiggins. I think that's dumb. If you could get Love somehow without trading Wiggins, you've seriously just made a team right there. But I don't think that's going to happen. I know they're talking, like I just said, about having a third team in, but Minnesota really wants Andrew Wiggins. And if I was Minnesota, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you give me Wiggins and then you can have Love. But if not, no, not gonna happen. So I understand with them. All right, quick things. Washington Wizards are in talks with the Dallas Mavericks about a potential sign and trade deal that would land forward/center DeJuan Blair to the Wizards, which I think would be awesome. I love DeJuan Blair. Saw him when he was at Pittsburgh, and he was drafted by the Spurs. I was so excited. And then he got released to Mavericks. And yeah, but anyways, that'd be awesome for the Wizards. Miami Heat forward Chris Bosh says he has, quote, no bitter feelings towards LeBron James following James' decision to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers, saying, quote, we're going to be brothers regardless, no bitter feelings, it's all love. This was a family decision for James, and it was no different for Bosh, who lives in Miami Beach with his wife and 2 children. Bosh strongly considered leaving to take Houston's 4-year, $88 million offer to join a championship contender. But apparently Bosh insisted it was never a Houston or Miami proposition. Say, quote, we all make decisions to make ourselves happy and our families happy. That doesn't take away what we've done together and the special bond that we created and the special bond that we have and just all the memories that we have had together. That will never change. As you move forward, you appreciate those moments and keep going forward. Other news, the Houston Rockets have decided not to match the Dallas Mavericks' 3-year, $46 million offer to Chandler Parsons, which means Parsons will now be in Dallas. Let's see, Parsons averaged 16.6 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists this past season. And finally, Luol Deng is taking his talents to South Beach. Okay. Well, sorry, I was just trying to get something going. Anyways, signed with the Miami Heat. It is a 2-year, $20 million contract with a player option after this upcoming season. Sources close to the situation told ESPN.com's Mark Steen that the Heat on Sunday also came to 2-year agreements with Mario Chalmers and Chris Anderson, Birdman. Both are familiar faces of the Heat's, trips to the finals. Chalmers' deal is set to be in the $8 million range, while Anderson's is in the $10 million range. The Heat have also, had already signed Josh McRoberts and Danny Granger in the offseason. And that's it for NBA news, and that's basically it for today's show, as the All-Star game for Major League Baseball is tomorrow, and the Home Run Derby is tonight. That is going to be exciting to watch. Hopefully Yasiel Puig can win it and give some Dodgers a little bit of love. But that's it for today's show, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next Monday morning. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Make sure you guys leave it a like, comment, how you feel about certain topics that we talked about, and things like that. Be sure to share it with friends and family and all that other good stuff. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys next Monday. God first, God bless. I am out. Peace.